my children, how your love for me touches my soul with the spirit and knowledge I am blessed with. I shall guide you all home.
This is David Botten. He is playing the role of Brother 12 in Child of a Hoodlum's production, The Cult of Brother 12. We're here on Gabriola Island in a rehearsal for the upcoming Fringetastic Theater Festival that runs in Nanaimo August 16th to the 26th. We're going to spend some time with the cast of The Cult of Brother 12 on this edition of The Daily. Also in the lineup, we're going fishing in Duncan. We're going to visit with James Green down in Victoria. There's some boat owners in Fisherman's Wharf who are painting a mural on the side of their floating house. It's Relaxation Day in Parksville, Qualicum Beach, and we're going to see how mellow we can get. Marjorie Greaves is taking us on a road trip to the Maritime Heritage Center. It's a popular destination for residents and tourists alike. Before we get to any of that, though, imagine taking a walk, a stroll through the woods at the bottom of Mount Benson behind Westwood Lake, hearing gunshots, maybe even getting shot. Well, the Department of National Defense is trying to put an end to that because, unfortunately, it is a real possibility. Annette Lucas has that story. You're watching The Daily on Shaw TV Channel 4, and today we are on Gabriola Island, stepping in on a rehearsal for The Cult of Brother 12. It's one of the performances coming up in the Fringetastic Theater Festival running in Nanaimo from August 16th until the 26th. It's put on by Child of a Hoodlum Productions. Now, it looks like there's some kind of scrum going on. Todd, you better go check out and see what's going on over there.
Well, hypothetically speaking, Miss Abercrombie, if you was a major police chief of a large American city who had attended the aforementioned conference and was up for re-election this spring, would you be concerned about the outcome of this trial?
Well, hypothetically speaking, Carl, if I'd managed to lie, cheat, and bully my way to the top of a corrupt police force, I'd be smart enough not to get caught with my pants down in a whorehouse. Next question.
Oh, I have a question. Who are you?
Why, I'm Doris Abercrombie from the Gulf Island Gazette.
And why is there so much interest in what you're doing here?
Well, I'm a crack reporter here in Nanaimo in 1929, and there's a very big scoop that we're working on. Apparently, a cult leader named Brother 12 is nearby, and me and my crack team are going to get to the bottom of it.
Wow. Well, I'll let them continue because I think I've got a hotter story over here with the writer and director of The Cult of Brother 12. Bill, come on over here. What have you done with the story that many people in Nanaimo are very familiar with?
Well, we've taken the myth and we've kind of ran with it and taken and tugged a few different stories and added a couple of investigative journalists and some music. And we're going to splash that all over the Fringetastic Festival.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to stand over here because there's a lot of activity going on in the background. Why did you decide to make this a musical?
Well, of all the plays that I've written, when I was looking back at the plays, these characters just seemed to explode with the desire to tell their story in song. So particularly Brother 12, Madam Z, Doris Abercrombie, and all of these, when I was looking at the script, they just wanted to tell some of their story in song. And so off we went with Antonio Gridanti, and we wrote some pretty good numbers, and we're looking forward to putting them in front of the audience.
Awesome. And you can experience the, the premiere of The Cult of Brother 12 at the upcoming Fringetastic Theater Festival. We're going to talk about more about that on this edition of The Daily. Before we do that, though, we're going to head down to Fisherman's Wharf in Victoria. James Green looks at a house, owners of a houseboat that are painting a mural on the side of it. But before that, all of this scrum stuff is pretty stressful. It's time for Relaxation Day.
Boys, I know spinster librarians hotter than Loretta Perkins.
Are you already planning on pushing off the front page, Doris?
Yeah, who's it this time? Doris, corrupt politician?
Sleazy real estate deal?
Panty-wearing priest?
Come on, give us a hint.
Please, Doris.
A hint?
I'd love to share my scoop with you fellas. It's been tough all these years on my own, with manly news hounds like you to guide me. Just Think of all the pointers I'll be shown. It's a match made in newspaper heaven. Think of me as your damsel in distress. I'll use feminine wiles to find the story, and you burly, brainy men can do the rest. There's only one teeny-weeny problem to this otherwise fabulous plan. I'd be aiding and abetting your ineptness, 'cause you can never rely on a man.
The flood of evil, which is even now so unmistakably rising, will manifest on all three planes. Physically, it will take the form of national wars, bloodshed, anarchy, and Bolshevism. Murder will become commonplace and go unavenged. Every sort of foul excess will flourish unchecked. My children, we are this morning to be blessed with some words of enlightenment from Madame Z. My dear.
Thank you, my darling. I am troubled in my heart to report that some of you have become quite lax when it comes to bowing and curtsying in my presence. Particularly those of you toiling in the field do not stop to acknowledge me as I ride by on my powerful stallion. I shall look for a marked improvement today.
Thank you, my love.
You're watching a scene from The Cult of Brother XII, a production by Child of a Hoodlum, written and directed by Bill Miner. You are watching The Daily. We're here on Gabriola Island during a rehearsal for the upcoming Fringetastic Theater Festival. Bill, the scene is a little bit scary, but it gives a sense of what it might have been like with Brother XII talking to his disciples.
It does. I just sort of took the myth of his accomplice and mistress, Madame Z, and sort of built a scene to show her petulance and her control over him in a place that he would love to have just been in total power. The invocation with his acolytes, she storms in and takes control, and it's just sort of an indicator of her self-absorption and his desire to please her.
Now, the story of Brother XII, there's lots of urban legend, there's some fact. When you talk to people, careful, Todd, there's a window there, don't go falling out the front
Through the window.
Maybe Brother XII sent him there. But there's a lot. How did you separate sort of fact from fiction, truth from story when doing your research for this play?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I did read, there was one book in particular that I found really beneficial to read, and I read as much as I felt I wanted to have underneath, and then I kind of just listened to a couple of rumors and stories from Gabriolans and longtime Gabriolans, and then I sort of just let that compost down and then just started writing and creating from there, developing characters that connected it, and then just sort of told my own story, but tried to keep the essence of Brother XII and his myth and his cult leader and his desire for gold.
Is she going to hurt us?
I'm not sure. She looks a bit, she seems to be channeling Madame Z very well. No, she should be okay. We should just continue.
Okay, I think I better stay in my place. We'll throw things over to the fishing guys there in Duncan.
I have decided that you should work 7 days a week and sit down and take your place right now. Okay. And don't forget about the bowing and curtsying today.
Seriously, she's crazy.
Okay.
That brings us to the end of this edition of The Daily. We are so impressed with our experience here on Gabriola Island with The Cult of Brother XII from Child of a Hoodlum Productions. It's one of the shows in the upcoming Fringetastic Theater Festival running in Nanaimo August 16th to the 26th. You can pick up one of these programs. It's got all the listings. There are 4 Nanaimo shows, Cult of Brother XII being one of them, 4 local shows I should say, and 4 from off of the island and outside of BC. You can get your tickets at the Port Theatre. We'll see you at Fringetastic, and this show is sure to be a hit. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Cede me all your worldly goods that I might set you free. Gather up your homes and lands and sign those deeds to me.
Work like slaves, my acolytes, that I may dine in style tonight. By keeping you in poverty, I guarantee the best for me. Moil for gold, toil for gold, bury friends.